Please welcome one of Fortune's most powerful women of 2015, the founder and owner of Spanx, Sarah Blakely.
When I was growing up, my dad encouraged us to fail. Sitting around the dinner table, he'd ask me and my brother what we'd failed at that week. Unconventional, sure, but I was so grateful. It shaped my mindset at an early age. It shaped my approach to business, life, and innovation. It made it possible for me to be fearless about failure. And it's how I came to redefine failure for myself. Failure is not at all the outcome. Failure is not trying at all. When I started my company in my apartment, I didn't have the most business experience, and I certainly didn't have the most money. But I wasn't afraid to make mistakes, to be rejected, to hear no over and over and over again. And trust me, I did. The only thing I was afraid of was not trying. It's a privilege to be here tonight to introduce a woman who I believe defines failure the way I do. Yin Myo, otherwise known as Misu. When she was growing up in Myanmar, was under military rule. Political violence and extreme poverty were widespread. Exposure to the world outside was tightly controlled. At 16, Misu joined student protests calling for democracy. She didn't tell her parents. She didn't want them to worry. But as her father was sitting in a tea shop one day, he heard his daughter's voice from the stage of a rally nearby. When people asked why he took up politics, he simply replied, "It was Misu." 5 months after her father ran for office, he was imprisoned by the ruling junta for what they called creating instability. Dissidents were being arrested, disappeared, or killed. Misu was sent away to avoid the roundups. Her father in jail, her mother trying to keep their family business together, Misu ended up alone and starving on the streets of Bangkok. She says she's one of the lucky ones. She survived. She feels a deep obligation to give as much to her country as those who sacrificed so much in those difficult years. What she's doing is untried, untested, and unprecedented. In a place where independent thinking wasn't encouraged, where there isn't a history of responsible business, Misu is establishing an entirely new standard. She's building a distinctly Burmese brand of business that puts people before profits. As she operates in uncharted territory, Misu is incorporating lessons learned from other countries, but also proving that there's plenty we can all learn from her example. Please, it's my great honor to welcome Misu.
As my countries open up, there are 50 million new consumers and lots of nature resources. This is an enormous opportunity for us and potential investors. But we also know that there is a lot at stake. For we've seen a lot of damage in the land of our neighbors caused by companies who take advantage of a new market. But it's too simple to accuse or to label business community as greedy. It's too easy to assume that business people only cares about making money. We know that this isn't always true. In fact, we have seen that the private sector can make a difference faster than any other sectors, faster than politics, faster than NGOs. Maybe that's the real opportunity. My people were cut from the world for 60 years. While capitalism matured in other places, we develop our own ways with whatever we have in our hands, our culture, our nature, and most importantly, each other. And to me, those things are more precious than money. They require investment. So that the business model that I have is the one, include them in my bottom line. If the future will be bright for many, we have to do business better. We must acknowledge the balance between opportunities and responsibilities. It isn't just about doing the right thing. It is a strategy. I see very clearly that the brightest future for all requires investment for all. Not to make people dependent, but to help them depend on themselves. The next generation will require both of this from the businesses that they support and will support the businesses that invest in that way. I made this film with Vital Voices to show you what we have to protect and the example that we have to share. Thank you.
There is a Burmese proverb. If a big tree is strong, it can host 10,000 birds. Is a big tree generous? And all the birds can come and rest. But I think sometimes big trees, they don't give space to the little ones. They overshadow them and they don't allow the little ones to grow on their own. So big trees can be good, but we have to remember the other ones exist. My grandmother taught me everything we do must result in a win-win-win. A win for you, a win for me, but there is maybe a third person who we haven't considered. Maybe they aren't there. Maybe they are not yet born. But they must also be considered. It is our responsibility to pass on the good things we received from our ancestors. To protect what is precious for the next generation. Things are changing and we have to adapt. But we must also preserve so that the good things we have will not be lost. These things are our truth. They are like roots. And a tree with strong, deep roots is unlikely to fall.
So we talk about big trees hosting all the birds. But I don't think that we should rely only on one big person to save the world. Just as I believe that many trees create a forest, I believe that together we are stronger. I believe in collective success. Tonight, I ask my friends in business community to join me in re-envisioning the way we do business. It's not only about CSR. We must always create a win-win-win situation. This is about business that plans for the long term. In undiscovered and even established market, it is business that will thrive. Thank you.
For her bold stance on the potential of business, Vital Voices is proud to present a 2015 Global Leadership Award to Yin Myo.